I'm Josiah.
And I'm Adam.
We are Salida Gun Shop. Today we're going to be discussing a few things on the federal level as well as on the state level, just to keep you guys informed and how it's going to affect possibly how the gun shop runs, how your rights are going to be restricted, and or your ability to even access suppressors kind of moving forward with Big Beautiful Bill, the Short Act, and how Colorado views those items. Right now on a federal level, there's two bills that have been proposed, the Short Act, and then everybody's calling it the Big Beautiful Bill. The Short Act removes short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns from the NFA list. The Big Beautiful Bill has some deregulation portions that would take any of the suppressors off the NFA list and deregulate them, which is good, but also bad for Coloradans. If those federal bills pass under Colorado revised statutes, they would basically make those items considered just like machine guns. Mm-hmm. So they would then be illegal for possession in the state of Colorado.
Yeah, and it's the wording, right? The wording that we have in the Colorado revised statute, the CRS, that's the legal lease stuff in Colorado, which would say that suppressors are illegal because they're not regulated and not permitted by the NFA. I believe the wording on it is permitted or licensed by the NFA or federal government. And if they're not permitted or licensed, then they're illegal, which kind of gets into that whole, Form 1, suppressor parts and things like that. And that's probably what they were trying to do when they wrote that. But if you look at it from today's aspect, we'll be screwed. Right. Not we, but us as a whole, as a community for, I don't know, I love suppressors, silencers, whatever you want to call them.
One for every gun.
Yeah, I love them. I truly do. And I think what a lot of people need to understand with them is that this whole, the evil thing that they're grouped in with machine guns and short barrel rifles, and having a silencer or a suppressor on your gun doesn't make it more lethal.
No.
By any means.
That's not Hollywood quiet. It's definitely not to the level that you're going to be able to,
It's more enjoyable.
It is.
It's more enjoyable. The big thing that I look at is for public ranges, it quiets them down. Yeah. So then you don't have that piece of, the people that moved in next door who the range has been there for who knows how long, and they start complaining about it, right? I understand both sides, right? I understand, hey, if you don't want to shoot your gun suppressed, fine, that's fine. Yeah. Me, I don't know what it is, but if I shoot an unsuppressed gun for a longer time period, half a day, full day, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, and I don't know if that is a concussive thing, or if that's, previous life, or my hearing that doesn't really exist, but exists for a, middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
The big thing is suppressors are looked at as evil things.
Right.
And where we should, as a whole, as a community, we should really educate people on suppressors. And I think knowing this,
right,
because this is a big part about knowing, right, is there's all this, I don't want to call it marketing, because the people that are behind it and removing the $200 tax stamp, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin is if we end up not being able to have suppressors because of it, I don't know, $200, meh.
Yeah. And the major difference, you might have heard of like the Hearing Protection Act, the HPA.
Mm-hmm.
The way they wrote it in, amended it, they would basically regulate the suppressor or the silencer just like a firearm, not completely deregulating it, removing it from the NFA, removing the tax stamp, which would then allow Colorado residents, and I believe it was about 6 or 7 other states
There's quite a
that
few.
would absolutely not be able to sell suppressors, still allow them to regulate them just like firearms. So you do your background check, do the 4473, and be able to dispose of the non-NFA item this time as a firearm would be, even though it should be considered an accessory like a magazine or scope or anything like that. So
I mean, it truly should be.
Yeah.
It truly should be.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we are. There's like this whole interesting discussion that I had with somebody that was from out of the country, when we shot uh, a long course of fire with suppressors, and they were like, "Wow, your guys' suppressors are really like stout." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, the ones that we buy over the counter, they would like not work very well after 100 rounds."
Huh.
And I was like, "Huh." So as much as we dislike the NFA and dislike the regulatory piece, it also, the secondary or tertiary effect of it has been, it made companies in put effort and engineering,
Yeah.
R&D, all that stuff into making them last.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we were looking at 9+ months of waiting.
yeah.
Like you
boy.
wait 9 months for a suppressor you can shoot 100 times. That would definitely put some people's
Yeah, you shoot 100
way.
times. Yeah, man, I'd be like,
Got to
that
start
was
this
a waste.
process all over again. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of interesting though. I mean, like, if you look at it too, both you and I have both purchased suppressors for several years now, and from where it was to now,
yeah.
I think people should feel really fortunate. Uh, yeah, sure, $200 is, going to be regulated and whatnot, and yeah, you got to have your tax stamp and all that stuff. But
I'm on a list.
you're on the same list that everybody's
everything
on,
else,
that
yeah.
buys a gun or uses a credit card or
Right.
talks on a cell phone or has a Facebook or Instagram or YouTube account. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I think going back to what you're saying too is like we started almost 10 years ago buying suppressors, and we have some customers that have had NFA items and suppressors even longer than that.
Yeah.
That we've seen some amazing, engineering, flow through suppressors, muzzle devices, all these things that
Quick attachments, hub,
amazing
like the hub,
accessories. Yeah.
right? The standardization,
Yeah.
like that stuff, like that's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But
Gives you a lot of modularity, gives you some cross compatibility as well.
yeah,
So if you go down one rabbit hole of manufacturer, you can always jump ship and still have the capability to do that.
I honestly think what's nice now is like people don't have to buy the Subaru suppressor.
Mhm.
Like they don't have to have it does everything
Right.
okay. You don't have to buy that one.
Right.
Like you can get the one that like that's what it was built for.
Right.
And guess what? You get approved in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Or 8 days on a trust, or who knows? Like I mean, it's all up to, I don't know, the coin toss.
Yeah.
I'll call it.
Who's sitting behind the desk when it gets sent through as an
Right.
application? Yeah.
Because we've seen everything from I think 12 hours to, and we still have people that are waiting over a year.
Yeah. I think today I looked through, we have a total of 58 pending, and I think it was 25 of them were submitted in 2024, and there were more remaining of those were sitting in, from the beginning of this year kind of through. But we've got huge swaths of, I think our total number was like 1,900 total suppressors approved.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And we went from having over 400 in a pending status to now less than 60 within 2 years. That's a huge improvement. And I remember 2016 when I applied for my first one, I was like, oh man, everybody's telling me it's taking 3 months. This is fantastic. And then 8 months and 6 days later,
Mm-hmm.
and that became the norm. And then
It just stayed there.
it just, yeah,
It got longer.
did not get any better.
I
Yeah.
don't know. There's points in time where I waited 12, 14 months for things, and it was like, well, you just kind of like paid for it, forgot about it, and
Yeah.
and then it would show up.
Hope that something new whiz bang didn't come out
Yeah.
before you get that one in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I guess really what I want to impress upon people is one, the NFA, the ATF has done actually a pretty dang good job along with, the ASA and everybody helping them.
Right.
How to get these tax stamps through, how to like streamline the system. And yeah, it would be great if $200 went away.
Yeah.
But the flip side to that is in Colorado, we could run into an issue.
And what that means really is if either one of these bills go through federally, we are going to have to do a lot of campaigning on a state level to introduce an amendment that would then remove them or even regulate them, just like firearms, just like the HPA has.
Right.
So it's not a done deal. Obviously, we've got more legislative sessions to go through for this to go through, and with a lot of these being lumped in with bigger processes, who knows how they're going to change. But we wanted to bring light to that. So even though these things have been introduced, we don't know how they're going to essentially kind of rattle out at this point. So
I think that
we'll have some big things to kind of overcome, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think one of the interesting pieces of language that they put in there is it's a dangerous weapon.
Yeah. On a state level.
On a state level,
yep.
They say it's a dangerous weapon. Like, just because the rifle's shorter doesn't mean it's more dangerous, right? Just because it's quieter doesn't mean it's more dangerous.
Yeah. The way they lumped in machine gun parts, short barrel rifle, short barrel shotgun, and firearm suppressor, silencer, kind of all the same.
But that's like, education piece, right? We could just reach out, you guys, folks that do own suppressors in Colorado or wherever, like take some friends out, use them with your friends, obviously responsibly, but like show them it's not Hollywood quiet.
Right.
It's nice. It's
real
enjoyable.
Nice. Yeah.
But
the other thing, we were shooting on Sunday is there were probably, anywhere from 10 to 15 other people shooting on the range. Everybody's shooting suppressed, some not. And there's almost the stigma of those that were shooting suppressed were, had so much more money than everybody else. And right now you're looking at shorter times, great price point on suppressors. No matter what brand you're looking at, there's something for everybody out there.
There's 100% something for everybody. Like, I mean, look at the WIC cans.
Yeah.
Right? Super price pointed. They work. Boom. There you go. That's your, like, under
it's
$500.
It's a wonderful introductory.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe that's all you need. That's perfect. You get one that does a 30 cal and you go down to a 22, or you decide to get another one.
Yeah.
You're still under $1,000 for 2 cans and tax stamp at that point.
Yeah. And I'll say this, just from experience, you'll buy one and then you'll buy more.
Yeah, for sure. So if you've thought about suppressors in any inkling whatsoever, like now's the time, start asking more questions. Give us a call, shoot us an email, stop in. Like, we've got our fingerprint station. We can help you with creating your profile for the e-forms to make the submission process super easy, fast. Like, give us a call. Talk to any of the guys. Really knowledgeable staff. If you've got questions about price point stuff, high-end, precision, we've got a lot of information, and we've got a lot of suppressors right now. So now's the time.
Thanks again, guys, for watching. And if you do like this content, please throw us a like, put a comment down below. Say what you like, what you don't like. Share us the information that you want to hear about.
Yep. Always welcome some ideas, and stay tuned for more.